Hi, boys and girls. My name is Mrs. McNeil, and I teach first grade at Bricky McLeod Elementary School. I hope you're having a wonderful summer, and thank you for joining us on our KCS at Home Summer Edition. Today, for first grade math, our topic is to understand and use place value to add and subtract. If you have any questions about this video or any of the information that I'm going to be talking about, you can contact me at my email address down below, haley.mcneil@knoxschools.org. Here is a list of all of the standards that will be covered in our section 4 of the Math KCS at Home Summer Edition packet. This is a lot of standards, but one of them at least covers an example or practice problem in the packet. Here are our objectives or our goals for this math learning packet. I am learning to use groups of 10 to count and name numbers larger than 20. I am learning to find 10 more and 10 less than a number. I am learning to compare two two-digit numbers using symbols. I am learning to add and subtract multiples of 10 to any two-digit number. I am learning to add two two-digit numbers without regrouping. And I am learning to add two two-digit numbers with regrouping. So these are all of the goals that will be met by using the examples and practice problems in your packet today. Here's our math vocabulary for today. The first vocabulary word we have is the word digit. A digit is any of the 10 symbols used in the base 10 numeration system, such as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, or simply just numbers. Our next vocabulary word is place value. Place value is the value of the place of a digit, such as the tens and ones place. So for example, in this number 23, we have in the tens place the number 2 or the digit 2. That, because it's in the tens place, stands for 2 tens, and that would equal 20. In our ones place, we have 3, so that would be equal to 3 ones cubes. So 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, and that's where we get the number 23. 2 in the tens place, 3 in the ones place. The next vocabulary word we have is ones, which are single units or objects, which we skip count by 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next vocabulary word is tens, which are groups of 10 ones. So taking 10 of these ones cubes, sticking them all together to make a group of 10. So in this example, there are 2 groups of tens. In this example, you can see there's 1 10, which is the same as or equals 10 single ones. So this is the same quantity or the same amount. We can skip count by tens: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. And if you notice in each of these little posters, we add a group of 10 as we count by tens. In the tens place, the digit goes up by 1 because we're adding a group of 10 every time we count by tens. What number is in the tens place? See if you can find it. That's right. If you said 5, that is correct. There are 5 tens, so there is a 5 in the tens place. What number is in the ones place? Can you find it? That's right. If you said 8, you are correct. There is an 8 in the ones place. One more practice. What number is in the tens place? This is the number 35. Can you find what number is in the tens place? If you said 3, that's correct. There is a 3 in the tens place. What number is in the ones place? Can you find it? If you said 5, that is also correct. There is a 5 in the ones place. Here's some more vocabulary that will help us in our packet today. In this section, you can see there is a 120 chart. This is a chart labeled with numbers starting at 1 to 120, set across 10 columns and down 12 rows. To find 10 more on a 120 chart, you would go down the chart toward the greater numbers. If you want to find 10 less on a 120 chart, you would go up the chart to find the lesser numbers or the smaller numbers. Some more vocabulary includes the greater than symbol. This is the number with a greater value or quantity. So if you have 6 and 3, 6 is greater or larger than 3. So the alligator is going to eat the 6, and the small point of the arrow points to the smaller number. The equal sign is a symbol that means is the same as. So in this case, 6 is equal to or is the same as 6. Those are the same numbers. The next symbol is called the less than symbol, and it points to the number with a smaller value or quantity. So once again, one of the tricks that you can think of is that the alligator eats the bigger number. 6 is bigger than 3, but the point of the arrow also points to the smaller number, which is 3. So 3 is less than 6. Our last vocabulary word is the word regrouping. Now, if you look at that word, re and grouping, re means to do something again, and grouping, it means to make a group. So when we're adding larger numbers, we would start with the ones place. You might have to make a new group of 10 when adding the two numbers in the ones places. So now is the time to get out your KCS at Home summer packet, and we're going to go through the example problems A through J. For example, problem A, the directions say, draw 2 10s and 10 more 1s. How many 10s in all? Now in my classroom, we like to make sure that we're underlining important information. So when I read the directions and see draw 2 10s, well, that means I'm going to draw 2. And what am I drawing? 10s. And 10, how many? 10 more 1s. So I'll be drawing 1s cubes. And then the question asks, how many 10s in all? So it says draw 2 10s. 10, 20. So here's one 10 and the second 10. Then it says draw 10 more 1s. So this time you're just drawing single cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A 10, well, even though it's looking like single ones, I can group those together, and I know that that equals a group of 10. Now I can count how many 10s in all. 1, 2, 3. So how many 10s in all? 3 groups of 10s. Now, what would those 3 10s equal? Well, if we skip count by 10, we can find out. Let's try it. 10, 20, 30. 3 10s equals 30. Now for example, letter B. The directions say find 10 less than 86. Color both numbers. So our first job is to find the number 86. In this example, there's a little chunk of a 120 chart, and we need to find 86. So I'm going to find the row with the 80s. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86. I like to circle 86 so I know where to find it easily. And the directions say to find 10 less. Now, there's some fun little rhymes that you can use to help you remember how to find 10 less and 10 more on the chart. To find 10 more, hop down through the floor. To find 10 less, hop up, oh yes. So if we're trying to find 10 less, we need to hop up, oh yes. So I'm going to draw an arrow up the column, And since we went up the column, that is just 10 less than 86. So what number did we land on? 76. So 76 is 10 less than 86. Using these little rhymes is very helpful. Now we're going to watch a video about adding and subtracting tens with our friends Annie and Moby from Brain Pop Jr.
Cool stickers, Moby. How many do you have? Well, each sheet has 10 stickers. So you can skip count by 10 to find the total. How can you add tens? Let's see. You've got 10, 20, 30 insect stickers. And you have 10, 20 flower stickers. How many do you have altogether? Write a number sentence to help you find the sum. What is 30 plus 20? You can use a 100 chart to help you add. Start at 30 and add on 2 tens. 40, 50. 30 plus 20 is equal to 50. When you're working with tens, you can hide the zeros in the ones place to make it easier to add. Then you can bring back the zeros after you add the tens column. What is 40 plus 40? I know that 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. That's a doubles fact and easy to remember. So 40 plus 40 is equal to 80. These are cool stickers, Moby. May I please have some? How can you subtract tens? You have 80 fruit stickers. And you give me 20. What is 80 minus 20? You can start at 80 and go back 2 tens. 70, 60. 80 minus 20 is equal to 60.
Now that we've watched our video about adding and subtracting tens, let's try one. Here's an example C. The question is, what is 21 and 10 more? Now I circled the numbers because that is important information for us, and I underlined the word more because that means we are going to be adding. More means adding. So we're starting with 21, and we can double check these drawings by counting them. 10, 20, and 1, 21. So 21 and 10 more. One of the ways you can do this is by drawing or adding a manipulative like a 10 rod. So we have 21 and we're adding 10 more. So here's one group of 10. So 2 tens and 1 1 and 1 more 10 equals 1, 2, 3 tens and 1 single 1. So if we want to find out what that total is, 3 tens and 1 1 is 31. So if we went all the way back to our beginning problem, 21 and 10 more is 31. You could also skip count by 10. You could say 21, 31. You could also use a 120s chart. And if you remember from a few problems back, if you want to find 10 more on a chart, you go down through the floor toward the greater numbers. Here's example letter D. There are 50 children. 20 take the bus. The rest walk. How many children walk? So we have two numbers we know and one missing number. Now, our total is 50. That's our big number. 20 is one of our add-ins. We are missing one of those add-ins. So to find that missing number, we can actually add or count on. So in the example, they have a sneaky equal sign at the beginning. You can just ignore that for right now. And you can say, okay, I know I have 20. Well, 20 is two tens. If I count on to find 5 of those full tens from the 50, we can find our missing number. So here we go. Plug 2 into your head. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we found 5 tens. 5 tens is where we had our 50 because 5 tens equals 50. So how many tens did it take to get to 5 tens? 1, 2, and 3. So 2 tens plus 3 tens equals, there's our sneaky equal sign, 5 tens. So what was our missing number? 3 tens. 3 tens, we know, also equals 30. So we can actually flip this around from our addition problem and make it a subtraction problem. 50 minus 20, which was one of the numbers we knew, equals 30. So we used the counting on strategy. We started with one of our add-ins. We counted on to find the missing number. Here's example letter E. The directions say show 46, here's our number, in 2 different ways. Well, I would always tell my class, start with the simple way. Show the way that makes sense. There's a 4 in the tens place, so draw 4 tens. 10, 20, 30, 40. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. There's 6 in the ones place, so we'll draw 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes 46. So 40 plus 6 ones. Now, one of the cool ways that my class would use to find another way to show that number is to use a tool called the hammer tool. I've already set up our number 46. To make 46, I've made 4 tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, in using the hammer tool, the cool way to use this is that when you hit one of those groups of 10 with the hammer, it actually breaks it apart into individual single ones cubes. So it will still be the same amount of 46. It will just be a different way to show 46 using the tens and ones cubes. So let's give it a try. All right, in my class, when we like to use the hammer, we like to say kaboom. Oh my goodness, look at what our hammer has done. It took one of our groups of 10, and when it hit the group of 10 with the hammer, all of those 10 ones cubes came apart. So now when we look at our groups, we have 3 groups of 10, which would be 30, and our group of 10 that exploded plus 6 ones is 16. So we would have 30 plus 16. So it still shows 46 altogether, but this is a different way to show 46. Now that we've used that hammer tool to show how we can break apart one of the tens into 10 single ones cubes, we found that you can have 30, which comes from the 3 tens that were left over after hitting one of them with a hammer. 30 plus a whole group of 16. So we showed the same number, 46, in 2 different ways. Now we're going to watch a video about adding with regrouping.
Let's see. You jump roped 7 times. I jump roped 6 times. How many times did we jump rope together? The numbers to find the total. What is 7 plus 6? To solve this number sentence, we have to regroup. Sometimes when you add small numbers, the answer is a 1-digit number. But when you add larger numbers, the answer can have 2 digits. You can't fit a 2-digit number in the ones place, so you have to regroup. How do you regroup with addition? Let's see. We want to add 7 plus 6. The number 7 has 7 ones. The number 6 has 6 ones. To add 6 and 7, count all the cubes. It's easier if you trade in 10 cubes for 1 tens rod. There's 1 tens rod and 3 ones cubes. So 7 plus 6 is equal to 13. When you regroup, you gather ones into groups of tens.
Now that we've watched our video with Annie and Moby about adding with regrouping, let's practice with example letter F. The problem that they give us says, find 26 plus 5. So we are going to be adding the numbers 26 and 5 together to find a total. So if we look at the example, they've drawn 2 tens, 10, 20, and 6 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to make the number 26. They have also drawn 5 ones to show 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if we look at the number 26, we could make a full group of 10 if we filled in these spaces, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, since we have 4 missing spaces to make a group of 10, we can actually borrow from our friendly neighbor, number 5, and take these 4. I like to cross them out so we know that they are now moving to the other side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we have a full group of 10, and I like to circle or box that up to remind myself that now that's a full 10. So if we look down here now, here's a nice, neat example. We had our 2 tens, 10, 20, and this new group of 10, which would be 30, 10, 20, 30. Here's our 30. Plus, well, once we took 4 from our 5, 5 minus 4 only equals 1. So 30 plus 1 equals 31. So that is using regrouping as our strategy to find 26 plus 5. We borrowed from one of our numbers to make a group of 10. We regrouped to make a full 10 to help us count. Let's try another example of adding with regrouping. So let's use example letter G. Our problem is to find 29 plus 16. To show 29, they've drawn 2 tens, 10, 20, and 9 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. To show 16, they drew 1 10 and 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, just by looking at the drawing, 9 is closer to making a full group of 10 than 6 is. So in this example, I'm going to draw where our missing ones cube is, or one circle, to make a group of 10. we can borrow one from our friendly number 16 to make a full group of 10. Remember, I like to cross this out to remind myself that that number or that digit is now over here to make a group of 10. It is no longer part of 16. So now we have three groups of 10, 1, 2, and 3. So over here, nice and tidy, they have drawn 3 new 10s, which equals 30, plus 15 ones. Now 15 came from our original number 16. When we took away 1 from 16, that made 15. So here's 15 ones. Now, a teen number is a group of 10 plus some ones. So to help us with the adding, they've broken this up into 10 and 5. 30 plus 10 is 40. 40 plus 5 is 45. So that is using the regrouping strategy to add 29 plus 16, which equals 45. Now let's watch a fun video to help us remember the symbols for greater than, less than, and equal to.
32 and 84. The gator eats the one that's worth more. He looks at the place values from left to right. It's the greatest tens place, so he takes a big bite. The hungry alligator eats the number that's greater. The number that is least is never part of his feast. 55 and 32. The gator needs to eat the one with the greater value. He looks at the place values from left to right. Five's the greatest tens place, so he takes a big bite. The hungry alligator eats the number that's greater. The number that is least is never part of his feast. 45 and 49. The gator needs the greater value on the number line. He looks at the place values from left to right. Nine's the greatest ones place, so he takes a big bite. The hungry alligator eats the number that's greater. The number that is least is never part of his feast. Now the numbers are the same on both sides. The gator wants to eat, but he can't decide. Neither is greater or less. It's a perfect tie, so the alligator writes an equal sign.
All right, boys and girls, now that our hungry alligator helped us figure out which number was greater, less than, or equal to, let's try an example using example letter H. The directions say Bob has 43 cards. Ami has 48 cards. Who has fewer cards? Fewer is just a fancy word for which one is less, the one that has the smaller amount. So we are going to find 43 compared to the number 48. Now, when we look at two-digit numbers for comparing, we want to check the ones place and the tens place. So if we look at this number, 43, there's a 4 in the tens place. And in 48, there's also a 4 in the tens place. So the tens places are the same. So since those are the same, now we look to the next place value, which is the ones place. And the number 43, the number in the ones place is a 3. And the number 48, the number in the ones place is an 8. So if we look at the number 3 and the number 8, we are going to find which one is less or fewer. So if you want to draw a picture to show 3 circles and a picture to show 8 circles, you could see that 3 is less. So 3 ones is less than 8 ones. Now, we need to use a symbol to show that 43 is less than 48. One of the tricks you can use is to pretend that this symbol is the mouth of an alligator. And the mouth of that alligator only wants to eat the greater number, the bigger number. Well, we use the ones place to find which is greater. So the 8 is greater than the 3, so the mouth is going to open up toward the 8. You can also think of it as the point on this less than symbol is pointing to the smaller number. So the point points to the smaller number, and the mouth that's open eats the greater number. So 43 is less than 48. All right, friends, now we are going to add 23 plus 5. Now, when we're adding 23 plus 5, we can draw or look at the example that is given to us. So in this case, they've already drawn 23 and 5 for us. We have 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what they have done is they've taken 2 from the tens place, 2 tens, and 3 from the ones place, 3 ones, and then 5 is just one single digit. And 5 is in the ones place because we just have 5 ones. So we're going to line up our 5 underneath the ones, the 3 ones. So 3 plus 5 equals, if we know our math facts, that equals 8. Then we have 2 tens plus, oh, nothing's there, so the 2 stays the same. Now we can read this as 2 tens and 8 ones equals 28 because 2 is in the tens place, which makes 20, and 8 is in the ones place, which makes 8. Altogether, that's 28. So for this example, we did not have to regroup because the ones place equaled something less than 10. 8 is less than 10, so we did not have to regroup for this example. In our next example, we see that there's a problem that says 43 red bows and 24 green bows. How many bows? So once again, they've drawn a diagram or an example of pictures for us. 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, and 24. 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. They have taken, instead of using the words tens and ones, they've just used the digits this time. They broke 43 into 40 plus 3, and 24 is broken into 20 and 4. Now, if we look at the ones place, 3 plus 4 equals 7. Now we look at the tens place. 40 plus 20. Ooh, if that seems tricky to you, just imagine that those zeros are not there. Think of what 4 and 2 equal. 4 plus 2 equals 6. Then you add that 0 back on and look at that. 40 plus 20 equals 60. So 60 plus 7 equals 67. All right, boys and girls, now that we've completed our examples A through J together, now it is your turn to practice. So use your KCS at Home summer packet to complete practice problems 1 through 6. Use what you've learned today in our video and what you remember from your classroom with your teacher to try to show your knowledge on paper. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your summer, and thank you for listening.